Hello, all of you beautiful people out there in podcasting land. I am Alex Jones, and this is the SuperShow podcast. This week, joining me is Chris. Jamie is not with us today, unfortunately, but that's okay because we're still going to talk about games. We're going to talk about some bullshit, and we're going to have some trash opinions as per usual. But I'm gonna dive right in. I'm gonna wet your beaks by telling you what we're going to be talking about today. We're going to be talking about the Snitch because he's been dropping some tasty little leaks again. We're going to catch up on some Final Fantasy XVI news, some juicy litigation moves, I think that's what you call it, by Yuji Naka, and also something a little bit cheeky, a little bit funny, lots of laughter, revealed by Sega.
Interesting.
Cryptic. But before we do any of that, Christoph, how the hell are you, my friend?
I mean, you might not be able to tell, but I am fucking tired, Jonesy. Give me a pillow. Give me a duvet. Although in this heat, no duvet, please. Sleep on top of that duvet.
A Jamie body pillow, and then you can just go to sleep.
Jesus, the amount of heat that man generates. I would not want him 5 feet near me in this fucking heat because it'd be ridiculous. But yeah,
Fair
you
enough.
know how you said Jonesy's not with us here today, but
Jamie's not. I'm here in person. Jamie's
Exactly.
not with us. Yeah.
Oh, did I say Jonesy? I said,
You said
I meant
Jonesy,
Jamie. So Jamie isn't with us, obviously, but I always feel that when we record on our own, he's kind of like waiting for that podcast to come out. And as soon as it's available, he listens to it and he just sits there shaking his head at everything that we say. Just going like, no, that's not right. No.
Make sure we're not slagging him off.
I think we should.
That's what he's doing. Not at all. I refuse. We're not being mean about the big man at all. Never, ever, ever. Did you want to? You've got a little question to ask. Did you want to ask that now, or did you want to?
Jonesy, yes, I've got a cheeky little question for you. Okay, because it was Father's Day this weekend, wasn't it?
It was Father's Day.
So first off, you're a father. I'm a father. Happy Father's Day to you. Happy Father's Day to all those fathers that are listening to us. And if you're not a father, you probably have a few illegitimates somewhere. I know what your lot are like, right? So, happy Illegitimates Day to you, whatever it may be. But
just get a card in the post that you weren't expecting that says Happy Father's Day, no name, and be like, oh,
yeah, I miss you, Daddy. Come home. Like, oh. But yeah, I had waffles for breakfast, and
Ooh.
I do like a good waffle. And I was just wondering what your kind of like sweet brunch snack of choices. Waffles, pancakes, French toast, what have you. I'd just be curious to know because we've, in the past, we've spoken about IHOP, haven't we?
Yes.
We've spoken about Cheesecake Factory, which, okay, fair. It's not necessarily a brunch time thing, although cheesecake can have whenever. That's the beauty of it. But yeah, I was just kind of wondering because,
not for breakfast.
Yeah, man,
grim.
All day, every day, Cheesecake Nation. Hola.
Okay, so what am I going to go with? I like waffles. I like waffles with maple syrup. I also like those with chocolate or ice cream or something like that. I am a fan of pancakes and bacon and maple syrup. That is very good.
But see, you can have waffles and bacon and maple syrup.
I feel like that's nah. I know it's like the same stuff, just a different shape. I'm not digging that. I don't want those little holes got stuffed with bacon. I just want them as is. We went out for waffles and fried chicken once, and that is a travesty. Like that, those two things do not belong together.
No, hold on. They do. I will fight you on this. However, I will say, because I'm the one that recommended it, I will say in my defense that the place that we went to had really, really shit chicken and waffles.
Oh, okay. All right, maybe that's it. It was one of those. I've been to another place recently that is the same as this, in that the food looked really good, but then it didn't look as good as it tasted. It didn't taste bad. It just didn't taste as good as it looked.
Name and shame, Jonesy.
No, I'm not going to name and shame. It seems like a dick move.
Are we not a channel of dicks?
Well, no, we are. That's why we don't need any more dickishness to compound.
We just got to get all the dicks out, Jonesy. Just
too many. People don't like dicks. Have you noticed this? You can wax lyrical about a vagina all day long, but you try and compliment a dick, and people are not.
I mean, I'm
not
probably in that camp, but
probably because people always try and send unsolicited dick pics. It's like, we don't need to see any more dicks. No one's sending unsolicited vagina pics.
Yeah, I've never understood that kind of
you think
trend.
You'd think like someone was a psycho if they sent you an unsolicited vagina pic, but then somehow weirdo dudes who send their cocks to people get away with it in some strange way. Oh, I sent her a dick pic. Why? Just keep it to yourself.
Yeah,
That's
no one
so
wants to see it. Just keep the badger in the hole.
What freaks me out more is why did they want to send it?
Yeah,
like,
what are they
out
hoping
of
to
it?
achieve?
Said it's a Bluetooth it to some random on the bus and just hoping to hear, oh, wow, that's the
Bluetooth.
best I've ever seen. Like, what? So weird.
Bluetooth.
Bluetooth.
Are you living in 1998, Alex Jones?
Well, I don't know. I haven't been on a bus since I was like in about 20 years. What do I know? Anyway.
Okay, so you're saying
French toast is another one. I've never had French toast.
You've never had French toast?
I'll tell you for why. Is because I saw the film Road Trip, in which the guy sticks his tongue through the French toast and then he like licks all the sugar off.
Puts it on his armpits.
Puts it down his pants. And then he puts it, and I'm like, I don't want French toast. I don't even know what it is.
French toast is quality, man. It's just like a thick cut brioche bread fried in egg.
Oh, okay. Okay. I've had eggy bread.
Yeah, but like this is like fancy eggy bread, and then they usually put like nice toppings, like they'll put on some like creme fraiche or
the Road Trip one was the powdered sugar. He was like, I ordered no powdered sugar, and the guy's like, oh, I'm so sorry. Let me fix that for you. And then he takes it away, and he
Jesus
disgusting.
Christ. What is it about teen comedies and like? Because do you remember like God, what was the guy's name in? Oh, it's killing me now. You'll know him. The Ryan Reynolds was fucking. What was it? What was the comedy he was in?
Van Wilder.
With the fucking chocolate eclairs and the
the dog
to jizz inside of him.
That is disgusting. At this point, I'm also going to do some fan service. A couple of weeks ago, we talked about my really shite hoodie that I got sent from a company, and they sent me a t-shirt and a hoodie the same because I hadn't picked something, and I said it was rubbish, and someone said, can they see it? So I wore it today. So this is, you can see that's Harry Potter getting picked up in a grabber and the alien toys from Toy Story.
Wow.
And it says,
chosen one.
Yes, and it's rubbish. It's not a nice. It's not a bad. Like the material's not the worst. But
nice color, Jonesy. Brings out your eyes, mate. So
thank you for that.
And
anyway.
next to the contrast of your Cyberpunk 2077 chair, it just looks like you're simping for Ukraine, which is fair. You should be simping for Ukraine.
I was hanging out with some Ukrainians today.
Nice, you and Ukraine, mate. Like you kicked it all off. I don't really get what the dysfunction is there. There we go.
No, I was genuinely with some Ukrainians today because my parents are hosting a couple of Ukrainians refugees from the war. They are. I was hanging out with them today. So it's a great grandmother and her kid, and they're both lovely. And I've been trying to pick up some Ukrainian, so I've been saying hello and thank you, and then.
Go on.
Technology is insane these days. I've got an app where you literally touch the microphone and you speak into it, and it translates it to Ukrainian, and then it plays it out. So like my mum and dad who don't speak Ukrainian and the Ukrainians who don't speak English, well, mind you, they're getting a bit better. They can communicate. It's so good, and literally that's how they talk to each other. It's mad.
But you see, anyway, it's good, but it's also shit, right? Because then you're not learning; you're just doing.
Oh yeah, you could get away with doing that.
Yeah, it's like. Oh fuck! I'm going to show my age now. But when I was learning to drive, and let's say my first year of driving, like you didn't have GPS. You had a fucking A to Z street map, a book that you kept in your car, right? And because of that, you learned the roads so well. Now, since moving to London, I don't know where the fuck I'm going, Jonesy. Just put on the sat nav and just be like, digital Jesus, take the wheel. Because I don't fucking know I don't know the directions.
I'm the same as you. When I started working in London many moons ago, like 20 years ago, I had a little book, and it was all the streets in London. And when I had to go like to a new place, I would get my little book out, and I'd be like, "Where am I going?" And I have to like do some map reading and try and find my way to whatever. Because there was no GPS. There was no GPS. Anyway, we digress with tales of map reading, orienteering, and Ukrainians. But we need to push on. So the first thing we do is tell you that this podcast is not only available on YouTube, if that's where you're watching it, or it's not only available on podcasting platforms, if that's where you're listening to it. There is crossover. We have crossplay in this amazing podcast, like all the best games. You can hear us on Spotify, iTunes, Google Podcasts, any of the top podcasting platforms. And like I said, we're also on YouTube's. We're on YouTube.
YouTubes?
The YouTubes, where you can see our little smiling faces. But if you want more of an authentic 2000s experience, like we were just talking about, you could always head over to paisleyradio.com Thursdays at 10 p.m. and you could listen to us on internet radio. And we are repeated on Mondays at 10 p.m. as well. So you could get an authentic radio experience.
Yeah, crack up the Scottish A to Z roadmap and head on over to Paisley.
Yeah, you have to go there. It's only available in a 10-mile radius. No, you don't. It's all over the world. It's internet radio, Chris.
I love
what
it.
Are you on about?
Yeah.
All right. So for our first news story of today, we are better than any of the best newspapers because this news only dropped about half an hour ago.
Okay,
maybe
this has been dribbled fresh from the loins. Get ready.
And Chris researched it and wrote it up in super quick time. That's why we can talk about it. But the Snitch is at it again. That lovable rogue who takes to Twitter and posts some pretty cryptic info that we've all been following around this Summer Game Fest to try and figure out what the hell he's talking about before it's actually announced, has posted a relatively non-cryptic one today. So it is a God of War GIF that he has tweeted out we're trying to figure it out. It seems like it's supposed to be the 3 number 1s and a number 0, which would give you November 10th, because Americans do it backwards, which would mean that very likely that God of War Ragnarok will in fact release this year, 2022, and it'll be coming out in November. I still say no. I'm going against...
You're still against it. I mean, this is kind of like lining
going
up
against
to what...
Schneider. I'm going against Snitch.
Schreier, mate.
Schneider.
Been watching too much The Animal.
Judge Dredd and the Waterboy and Demolition Man. He has said, Schreier has said it's coming out this year. The Snitch has now said it's coming out this year, if that's what you take it to be.
They both said November, didn't they?
Schreier said likely November. He also said, though, that we would hear something by the end of this month, and we haven't, and it is the 23rd, so they are running out of time.
Although, Jonesy, like the last time they announced the State of Play, it was like 2 days before it took place or 3 days before it took place. So
they've got time.
Like they could announce it today, tomorrow,
And it doesn't have to be a State of Play. It could also be these days. It could be tweeted out. We need someone to help ship a game in November for God of War Ragnarok.
No, fuck that. It needs to be a fucking half-hour State of Play dedicated to Kratos and Atreus. Just fucking give us the lowdown, because
I would love if we got 2 new trailers, 15 minutes of gameplay, like playing it live on a stage. I'd go. Okay, I'll take it back. I'm full of shit.
They did it with Horizon.
So why wouldn't they do it?
And I'd say by all accounts, this is a much bigger release than Horizon will be.
Possibly, yeah. So, why the hell not? But definitely more anticipated. I don't know if it'll actually be that much bigger, because obviously first-party games for PlayStation are all probably going to be about the same sort of size. But everyone's going to buy it. So,
but now here's the problem with the tweet, Jonesy, because we counted it, and we counted 4 1s and then a 0. But we don't know if the first one was maybe a mistake, because it flashes 3 times, but the one is on screen for 4 times.
Oh, okay. Yes, it does. I was just going to make a really stupid mistake then. I'm not going to do it. So, yeah. No, but it does seem like he's trying. Yeah, we were trying to figure it out, because it's like a 1 is on screen, then it flashes 3 times, then there's a 0. So technically that's 4 1s and a 0. But we reckon that it's just the 1 is just the 1, and then the flashes are the number. So it's 3 number 1s and then a 0, which gives you November 10th. What does hot up here, though?
Or could those 1s be like number of days to a State of Play? Or could it be both? Are we delving too deep into, looking too deep into the abyss, and eventually the abyss stares back at us, and what it is a Twitter account with the Blink-182 profile picture? Who knows?
I just had an epiphany as well. I was like, what? Let me check.
Yes. Check it out.
So in binary code, 4 1s and a 0.
Oh, here we go. Yeah.
E equals 30.
Yeah.
So that could mean on the 30th there's a state of play.
Oh, I like it.
So there's a couple of meanings. It could be 30.
Ooh, hold on. This is live investigation right now. Okay, because see something. Corey Barlog Jonesy. If you go to his Twitter, his Twitter header is a bunch of dots. Morse code, perhaps.
Morse code.
Yeah. Like, so if I show the camera, there's like 3 dots as his like banner picture, and then in his like what's that called? Like his description, just got 3 sets of 3 dots, then 3 sets of 4. There are 4 sets of 3 dots. Another. We're going too deep into this. Basically, it's going to happen this year, Jonesy, and you're going to be shit out of luck, buddy.
Yeah, it does look like it. So right now we're going to go. It's either going to be November 10th or they're going to announce it on the 30th, and it's going to come out in November, like Schreier said. So looks like it's. What are you going to plumb for? You've got out of those 2 options. What do you reckon is the most likely? State of play 30th or game releases November 10?
I think we're going to get a state of play before the 30th.
Okay.
Actually, what day is the 30th?
Thursday, next Thursday, a week today.
They like to do it on Thursdays, don't they? You might be right. You son of a bitch. Dylan, you son of a bitch. Yeah, I think I reckon you're right. I'm all for it. I think this is the easiest tease that there is to decipher, actually.
Oh, the Silk Song one was got me the easiest, where it was just a picture of the little guy with the dots, showing you what color plus what all the systems that it was going to be on, and it was like Game Pass as well. It was so bloody.
No, you're mixing up both of his tweets, 2 different tweets. Yeah.
Oh no, it was game. It just said Game Pass, didn't it?
It just said day one.
Day one. Okay.
But it was the picture of Hollow Knight wearing the clown mask, and then it's almost like there was a bit of me when he tweeted that, which turns out he was right. But there was a bit of me that thought, like, is he trolling people? Then that, like, on day one you'll be a clown because you think that. Anyway,
it gets really interesting. The Snitch is super connected.
I mean, he must be. Like, there is a wonder that this was like maybe an alternate account of someone. I wouldn't say it was Schreier. I think he's kind of got that integrity there, but I could definitely see like a Jeff Grubb, for instance, having this as a fuck around kind of thing. Right. And then like play coy in real life.
Yeah, you're probably right. It does seem a bit like that. To me, it seems filth though. If you're someone that connected and you create an alternate account so that you can drop stuff. So I think it was it? I can't remember if it was you or Jamie who said maybe that someone's done it as an alternate so they can release the info, so they can report on it without getting in trouble. Which is like, I don't know, man. I don't like that. I like the idea more that it's some insider who no one knows about, who's like you've never heard of, who's like super connected and is just it's some exec who's like super into games, but just everyone thinks they're an exec and they're like,
it's fucking Phil Spencer.
About this. Yeah. Or someone's wife. Someone's like, is super into gaming and just like drops stuff all the time. And their other half just chats bollocks all the time. Like she doesn't like games and she's there like, holy shit, this is coming out.
Yeah, I mean, it is kind of mental, but like, I don't know, in terms of the way leaks go, I think this is maybe, well, I don't really know where I come down on it, Jonesy. If I mind it all that much or not. Like, it's obviously exciting to kind of get the rumor mill stirred up, but is it like, it obviously takes away from like surprises?
Yeah, who was it on stage?
Yeah, no, I don't like it. I actually have decided I don't like it. Like, I was going to say I don't mind it so much because it's like, it's very simple in the way that he's leaking it. It's not like he's giving away information or anything. Like, really, what he's doing is giving away dates. But he is spoiling what could be like great reveals.
Yes, so that is why that's why I'm not as keen on it.
Yeah,
especially given that if it was far away,
like a kid in a candy store, I can't help myself because it's there and there's info and I need it because I'm a scumbag.
I'm following. Okay, I'll give the Snitch some credit. The sort of leaks things like about game releases, games that are coming to certain systems and stuff, they're not really leaks that I care about in that. Like, I care about them, but I don't care in the sense of it's not that bad to just reveal when a game's coming out. I don't like the leakers who ruin stories, who really release like, a character's dying, or this character's coming that you didn't know about, or this is going to happen. And I think that's well out of order. Someone did it to me the other day. I'll tell you what it was. The TV show Taskmaster, the official Taskmaster account leaked they said about the winner, like, well done for so-and-so for winning. I'm about 5 episodes behind.
Yeah.
So they've ruined it. I was like, you bastards. And all of the tweets or the replies were like, I can't believe you've just given this away. I was going to watch it tonight. Loads of people, like, same sort of thing. So I don't mind this as much when they're just saying like, this game's coming out, but I'm with you in that it's a dick move to take away from someone being able to reveal it. Like I was going to say, the PlayStation state of play thing the other day, where I can't remember who it was. They said, PlayStation leaked it online just before the event. What was that?
Oh, was that for, was it?
Can't remember.
Was it?
It was the remake of Last of Us. It was the remake of Last of Us. Yeah, and yes,
dude.
And wasn't it?
The more I look at the pictures of the remake of The Last of Us, the more I think it's the most pointless fucking exercise in the world.
Remains to be seen, Chris.
Yeah, I don't know.
But it's always good to be opinionated, Chris. And do you know who do have opinions? Our Patreon, or not, I was going to say our patrons, not our Patreons, our commenters. Because we have a comment of the week coming in here before I get onto Patreon. And this one comes in from Sean Cass, who says,
nice.
I listen to so many of the Super Show podcasts now that Jonesy, Chris, and Jamie are the 3 voices in my head fighting for supremacy, where one tempts me to do something and another tells me not to, and the third sees whatever either one's fine, and they constantly alternate, with Chris primarily being the tempter, I must confess. I like that. I like that me and Jamie and you are the devil or the angels on Sean's shoulder saying, go on, buy the game, pre-order it, you'll love it.
Yeah.
And the other's going, don't do it, it's a scam.
I kind of like the idea of being an instigator. I'll take that on board, sure, why not?
I do like it. I'm hoping he doesn't mean it's like more serious, where he's like, go on, kill another person and then bury him in a ditch, and then one of us is like, no, you shouldn't be a serial killer. Stop murdering everyone. So Sean, don't be a serial killer.
Yeah, don't kill people. But do listen to the Super Show and have some more cake, because cake's good.
Don't eat the cake. You'll regret it. It goes straight to the hips.
It is funny though, isn't it? Like, and I swear, it is not intentional. When we have an argument, one of us takes one side, the other one takes the other side, and then the other person sits in the middle. It's not intentional at all, but it's just kind of like, I guess that's why we're kind of such good friends, is that we kind of like, we complement each other in that way, and that's just the natural kind of progression of how we are as people and interact with each other.
We are all quite opinionated, and I know that we all do. If one of us says something, I think it kind of maybe makes the like, if I say something, I think it kind of makes you and Jamie try, like, think about it and then think about the inverse and go like, oh, is that right? I don't know if that's right. And I think we all do that. Yeah. Because and none of us are agreeable. Like, we're all not agreeable people. We're all just like, but when we get together, we have a great time, and it's not like we argue all the time. It's like, it's good.
Do you ever get the feeling, it's going to sound weird now coming off the back of this, because thank you, Sean. Like, first of all, appreciate that you listen to so many Super Show podcasts, and thank you that you're allowing us to live rent free in your head, apparently. But I was thinking about this the other day. Do you ever just get the feeling sometimes that we're just like a really shit podcast?
I think all podcasts are pretty shit, to be honest.
Fair enough.
There is, I think it's all by that I mean they're all subjective, right? It's all like listening to people chatting bollocks. Yeah. And to be fair, we're not as bad as the podcast where it's just people chatting bollocks, like just talking to each other about nothing. We're not as good as the ones who have all the insider information and can give you loads of interesting, cool stuff. I think we're in a middle ground. We're on a middle ground. There is an amazing podcast called like My Dad Wrote a Porno.
Oh yeah, of course. Yeah.
Where they read, and I think that's a very clever idea. It's really good. I like the Joe Rogan podcast because the amount of guests he gets and the breadth of guests he gets.
Yeah.
I think has always been quite cool.
Serial, obviously, as a podcast,
Serial was amazing.
Yeah, but like that. You see, that's the thing. Like all of those things are kind of like USPs, right? Oh, the guests on Joe Rogan, or the storytelling on the investigation on Serial, or just like the complete like human wackiness of wrote a porno. But like I like what we do, and sometimes I come out of podcast feeling a bit down about what we've just done, or sometimes I come out feeling like really happy about what we've just done. But like overall, like we don't really have a USP. Like it's that funny thing that someone shared that image in the Discord, one of our patrons, where it's like, oh, every gaming podcast ever, and it's just a picture of like three dudes wearing hoodies and t-shirts, one skinny one medium one fat one. They, neck beards abound. At least two of them are wearing glasses. Stop me if this sounds familiar, Jonesy. So.
No, I think that it's funny because it's so true. But
like, what's differentiating us from Joe, Ken, and Bobby on the next podcast down the road?
Oh, nothing at all. It's just.
See, this is like where you're wrong, Jonesy. Okay, it's the dick talk.
The dick talk. No, I think it's just I'm the same. I just get to like listening to certain people, and I think we're lucky that we have people that come back and listen and stuff, and I think it's all good.
Thank you.
And I want to give a shout out to some of those special people right now, Chris, because there have been a whole bunch of lovely, awesome, amazing people that have gone over to patreon.com/SuperShow and have joined up for as little as $2 to help support the podcast, keep us coming back week after week, keep the lights on. There are some names on screen right now, but I would also like to read some out. I'm talking about Aaron Cameron, Athletic Gravy, Bill Caesar, Brimstone, Cole K, Ice Not Rock Salt, Jesper Camden, Nielsen, Jesus, Leo Merger, Mindful Pig, Mr. Anthropic, Nathan Pears, Neil Dugel's Dream of Prosthetic Mustaches, Daniel, Pastors Guild, Scary Omen, and the big dogs. I'm talking Brett Z, aka Shellshock, Doppler, Geometric Potter, Hacksaw Book Read, Manuel Donut County Stan Guerrero, that was a terrible game, Peaswad, and Mugnet, May Your Cock Never Burn, Mikkelsen.
Nice.
Thank you.
I like how you're trying to change up the Magna Mikkelsen thing.
Every time I put a little tweak.
Just a little adjustment. I like it. It's good.
A little tweak. Just a little one. Just a little twisty twist.
But yeah, thank you, one and all. You helped the very average podcast super show dream stay alive. And for that, I am grateful. Look, I say that, Jonesy, about us and podcasting, but we consistently hit the top 100 in the UK.
The video game podcast in the UK, we do, yes.
And in Denmark as well. So word up.
Nice.
To the Danes.
I love bacon. You said it. Do you know one thing I do love about podcasts is often in this day and age, you just need something to take you out of your like the mundanity of everyday life, or just someone to like. Do you know what? When I like to listen to podcasts when I'm like walking the dog, or I'm going in the car on my own, or something like that.
Yeah,
and I do think that is when they're very good. And sometimes you want a 2-hour long podcast to just listen to while you're driving, or while you're walking, or while you're bored, and that's what we are here for. And if you like some video game chat and you like to play some video games, then that's what we're here for. And that having been said, Chris, I want to know what video games you have been playing in the last week.
Oh, Jonesy, would it surprise you to tell you that I have been playing so many fucking video games?
It would surprise me.
Yes, because it's a fucking lie. I've not played any games.
Fair enough.
Look, I kind of have an excuse, okay? So we recorded podcast on Thursday, right? Okay. On Friday, I had a big work event. It was the 10-year anniversary of the company that I'm working at currently. And they had this massive like summer party. Absolutely insane. It was amazing. Like Mike Skinner from the Streets was there DJing. Like food stores.
I'm so jealous of that.
Oh, it was so good, man. It was proper good. I was drinking lots of beer during the day. And then come the evening, I was drinking Red Bull and vodka, like a slut, like the little slut that I am. But it was tropical flavor Red Bull, and that's just like the most dangerous thing that anyone could ever do to themselves because it just tastes so fucking good. But yeah, just had a good time there. The very next day, very hungover, woke up super early for my son's 4th birthday party. So set up the party, deal with a bunch of 4-year-olds for the whole day. Then at the end of the day, exhausted, clear up the birthday party, go to sleep really late. And on Sunday was Father's Day. You get what I'm saying? It's like
there was a lot of life. A life has gotten in the way. And that's the way it should be. Gaming shouldn't push out life. Life should replace gaming.
I was thinking about this. Have you ever heard of the term no life? No life something?
No.
So if you no life a game, it means you cut yourself off from life, play that game from start to finish. Like you just go, you know?
Okay.
And I've kind of like this past week, I've been no lifing life.
I like it.
Make sense of that as you will. But in between all of that, and that's why I am so fucking exhausted this week. So my thing of choice was just kind of like sit on the couch, bag of crisps, some cheesy jalapeno, Walker's Max Strong flavor, of course, and just watch a bunch of TV shows. So that's the update I've got for you. I finished watching Barry season finale, which was fucking phenomenal. It's insane how good that show is, and kind of like how under the radar it is.
I'm a whole season. I think I'm a whole season behind you. I haven't started the season 2 yet, so I need to catch up on that.
I won't spoil anything, but like that is a show that constantly surprises you with where it goes and how it does things. And it was amazing. It's absolutely amazing. And it was very much one of those where like it ended and I was straight on Google being on my phone being like, has the next season been confirmed? Please tell me, you know?
And then you're like, oh, it was 2 years. It took them to make this season. I've got to wait another 2 years.
Well, no, I mean, come on. They got hit by COVID like at the worst timing, right?
This is the thing. Some shows genuinely take a couple of years because by the time they commission another season and they actually record it and you get it on air, even with no COVID, it can take a hell of a long time.
Yeah, you're not wrong. But good news, I believe it has been renewed for another season. I think another 2 seasons. And it was kind of strange because the way that season ended up, like the way they wrapped up some of the things, it was kind of like, oh, they could just stop the whole show here. They don't necessarily need to have another season.
Barry's, it's not Netflix though, is it?
No, it's HBO.
Because Netflix have a weird thing in that if a season doesn't do as well as the previous season, they axe it.
Yeah.
So you can have a good season that you were like, oh, that was really good, and then it's gone, and you're like, why did you do that? And
I know you're still hurting on Altered Carbon, and that was like prime example of that.
Season 2 wasn't as good as season 1, but I still wanted another season. Yeah, well, no, I can think of other shows that did it as well, but no, it can be very painful for sure.
Yeah. So I also, for my sins, Jones, because I'm quite a fan of trashy TV.
Right.
And I watched Flight Attendant season 2.
I keep seeing adverts for this, but I have never watched it.
This is the thing.
It just about being a flight attendant?
No, it's like, so the first season was based on a book, which was like, I guess you could call it like those travel books, you know, it's like, it's popular, but it's because like people buy them at the airports and shit. Yes. Maybe, I don't really know. But the story was really good. It's about a flight attendant who kind of like gets framed for murder, and then she kind of like all this espionage shit. It was really, really, the first season genuinely was like a breath of fresh air at the time that it came out. Like, I think did come out like during COVID. They'd obviously filmed it beforehand. And it was just like, it was just like really well done, really surprising kind of story, good characters, very quirky. And I think they tried to like have lightning strike twice with season 2. And I did not care for this season whatsoever. It went from being like this like really well-made, quirky surprise to just being like pure trash TV. It's just like, this is, nah.
That's the thing. That's always what I often find happens is when the first season is based on a book, it's really good. And then when the second season is sort of taken on and written by the writers, it's trash because they didn't write the original story. So
because they're not novelists, right? So novelists are a lot better versed than, say, TV writers in terms of like understanding character development.
Yes, and the main arc, the main story, and all of that sort of stuff.
I'm probably going to get
TV
roasted
writers
for that statement, because you're going to have people who are like, oh, but what about like fucking all these people that do these like 5-season shows with these complete arcs? Like, oh, look at Breaking Bad. But it's true, right? Like, I think the amount of time that a novelist has to work on character compared to the amount of time a writing room has per episode, very different. Very, very different.
Very different.
Yeah. Other than that, I haven't been catching up on Obi-Wan for my sins. But now that it's wrapped up, I think I can just like bam, 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 watch it. And probably by next week, I'll have finished watching it. But what I have started watching, The Boys on Amazon Prime, which is fucking such a good show. Really, really good. I've only seen 2 episodes, I believe.
Okay.
And I think at the time that this podcast goes out, the Herogasm episode will be coming out. So I have a lot to catch up on to get there. But yeah, man, The Boys is just such a fucking... It's such a cool show. I don't know what else to say about it, really.
I think I'm halfway through season 2 now of The Boys.
Oh, nice.
And I'd heard about it, but I'd never watched it, and I'd never really thought, I don't think I'm into that. And then I started watching, I'm like, holy crap, this is a fantastic TV show.
Yeah, it's really good.
Now, obsessed with it. Yeah, it's great.
Yeah, so, looking forward to that. But yeah, other than that, Jonesy, like, just been tired, been doing work, all that shit on the weekend. It's funny, like, coming back from Cyprus last week, I was, like, really looking forward to streaming again. I'm not really sure. Maybe this weekend. Although I might have 1 or 2 things lined up for this weekend that I want to get done instead. So, keep your ears on the ground and your eyes on the prize on the Super Show. That's all I'm saying.
It's always the way. Yes. Yeah, indeed. I'll try and keep it brief. So I've been playing a little bit. I caught up a bit on No Man's Sky, which I haven't jumped into for a long time.
That's releasing on Switch soon.
Okay. Yeah, there was no impetus for the reason that I started playing it again. It was just that I hadn't played it for a while, and there have been so many updates to that game since, like, even the last time I hopped back in, I think was after they put the multiplayer into it. Like, proper multiplayer.
Okay, which is quite a while ago.
Yeah, like we're talking a couple of years. But I wanted to go back in and give it another go, partially because I decided to make a video about No Man's Sky and how far it has come since it started and where it is at now. And so I was like, let me do some research. Let me get see what all the individual updates have done. I'm going to do like a whole timeline thing about, what happened and what it now is compared to what it was when it first came out. Super interesting rereading the reviews back from like 2016 when that game came out, because they just don't fit. They don't fit anymore, the game at all. It's like, this game doesn't even have whatever. And then you're like, well, yes, it does. But obviously because they've put it in subsequently. They have done so much, though. Going through the updates is amazing. And playing it again, it's weird because it's subtle in some respects, what they've done, but it's also not subtle in other respects. You can then, if you look at, it's almost like your memory of something is often, not quite exactly true. But just things like especially when the PlayStation 5 version that I've been playing, so how good it looks, how colorful it is, how like the high resolution, how many more aliens there are knocking around, the base building, like all the sorts of exocraft you can ride around in now. It's a cool ass game. And I finished it insofar as you can follow the path of the Atlas. I finished it originally when it came out. I'm not playing the main story at all this time. I'm just doing I'm just trying to live in the world. I'm like trying to build bases, unlock stuff, and just have a good time. So no, and I'm enjoying it. It's cool. I also only spent about an hour or so, but I played a bit of Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles: Shredder's Revenge that came out on Game Pass. I only played it by myself. I do need to hop on with you guys and play some 6-player multiplayer. Oh,
that would be so good. Like, so what we've got: you, me, Jamie. We've got Steph. So that's 4. Probably get Martin Ruffle involved.
Yeah, we need a 6th.
5 would be the 6th. I mean, obviously, there's like Alex Brown and Robin by all means,
Yeah, there's a few people we could be fun. We could lean on to play that with. It's cool. It is very old school in some respects. Like it totally reminded me of exactly what it was trying to go for, almost to its detriment in some ways. Playing as a single player, I found it a little bit boring and a little bit simplistic, which is exactly what they wanted. But I think you're supposed to play it with friends. You're supposed to have the whole Turtles experience, like playing online and getting into it and like chatting with mates and going like, oh, this is like when we were kids.
Jonesy, I did see something today that might make you a little bit sad.
What's that?
You know how long it takes to beat Shredder's Revenge?
Go on.
2.5 hours.
Not really, does it?
You know how much it is for completionist run?
Go on.
3.5 hours. Obviously, there's the replayability factor.
Do you know what's funny? I replayed one level a couple of times, and I'm so glad that I did. Now you've said that, because I'm worried that I would have got halfway through that game, which is almost what I did when Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles Turtles in Time came out, and me and my brother finished it in the shop, and we didn't even realize that. I've talked about it many times before.
Yeah.
But anyway, I'm looking forward to playing with you guys, and I'll obviously start it again. You can play as Casey Jones and April O'Neil and Splinter, which is pretty wicked. So I'm up for doing a bit of that.
Hell yeah.
But I haven't done yet. And yeah, no, that's me. That has been me for the week. Some gaming, some TV watching. We're still watching Ms. Marvel. Still watching Ms. Marvel as well.
Okay. Any better? Any worse?
It's a very well made TV show. It's fine. It's still not much is happening. Like, it's kicked off a little bit more, but I'm still waiting for it to get. I don't know, just to tie everything together and be a bit more, a bit more substantive. The third episode was a lot better than the second episode. The second episode was a bit dry, for my tastes. But the third episode has kind of kicked off a little bit more, which is good. But no. There you go. That's me for the week. So why don't we move on and talk about a little bit of Final Fantasy XVI news?
Sure.
I'm not going to lie.
Let's figure it out, Jonesy, because there's a lot going on there that's kind of not making much sense to me.
No, I have no idea. So they've revealed that icon battles are playable with multiple stages, and each of them is going to feel different. No idea what that means.
Well, so the icons are the summons, right? The big summons. But then in the trailer, it made it seem like you control the summon, or you become a summon, and then you fight other summons, and it's almost a little bit like Godzilla. It was weird.
It was weird, yeah. So I haven't played a Final Fantasy game in a long time, so I'm like, meh, okay. Also, I have to admit now that Chris researched and wrote this up, so I literally have no idea what's on this.
I'll take it then, Jonesy. I'll take the lead.
You go, because I'm just like I'm reading. I'm gonna go, and I was like, I don't know what any of this means. I should have done a bit more research before we got onto this. But sorry, mate. Yeah, you go.
Right. So icons are obviously those big summons. Clive, your protagonist, can encounter them as a small human. Apparently, don't know why that makes any kind of a difference, but. Sure. And Clive will live through different stages of his life, through his teens, his 20s, and his 30s. Does that sound familiar, Alex Jones?
It does. It sounds a little bit like a game we've been playing recently, where you can fight people and beat the shit out of them. But I like that. That sounds cool. I like games where you can start off as in one stage of life and sort of learn and develop and grow. A la Rune from the 90s.
That's what I was waiting for you to say.
Oh, I was thinking of Shifu when you said that. Obviously,
you start off as like Shifu, yeah.
You like work your way up through the thing. But no, Rune, I love that in Rune. You start off as a kid. And you then become a man.
Oh, yeah, it's kind of like Fable-ish as well, I guess. But yeah, so the game itself has been rated as mature due to its adult themes, and there is a new combat system, but it's that system exists due to wanting to get new players on board and because it fits better with the game's presentation. There was a bit of an interview with the director of the game saying that like the excellent battle system, admittedly excellent, and I will fight anyone who disagrees, the excellent battle system in Final Fantasy VII Remake was almost like they had to pay homage to the original Final Fantasy VII active time battles system that they had there. So even though it was like real-time battles, there was this element of like building up your meters and etc., etc. Whereas in this one, what he was saying in this interview, I can't remember the guy's name, some Japanese name. He was basically saying that like they've got a clean slate and they just want to make it kind of like as fast and fluid as possible, get new players on board and just have it like feel really good and fluid. You know, they did a really good job on Final Fantasy VII Remake. I'm sure they'll do a good job here. You know, time will see. But some more info that came out is if you defeat an icon, again, the giant summons, that means you unlock its abilities and a skill tree. And apparently Clive can become an icon himself. And there will be a new trailer, hopefully with some fucking explanations as to what this game actually is to be shown in the fall. And if you're not from America, that means autumn.
It does seem quite funny because obviously Final Fantasy, every time they put one out, is sort of a bit of an unknown quantity in a lot of respects. So yeah, you're always sort of hungry for more info and to see what the hell it's going to be about.
You know what, Jonesy? I think from like maybe from 7 to 12, okay? So 7, 8, 9, 10. 11 was, don't talk about 11 because it was like their first attempt at multiplayer. And then 12, where it obviously evolved and it morphed and they added in all these different systems. But I think for the most part, you knew exactly kind of like what you were getting into.
Right.
And this just seems like so fucking different, dude. I don't know. Like at this stage, would it be warranted to be called a mainline Final Fantasy title? I mean, clearly yes, because that's what they're doing. But, should they have? I don't know.
It's always hard to tell at this point, right? And it's always a difficult thing as well, because if they get new players on board because they've got like some new systems and new way of doing something, are you going to annoy some of the old players? But does it not matter because it's more important about getting younger people on board or new people on board? So I guess that's the problem that they've always got, is trying to balance those two things.
Yeah. Well, that's Square Enix for you, dude. They make decisions that are unfathomable sometimes. Just look at Marvel's Avengers, which, by the way, they've just released a trailer for a new character coming out, Mighty Thor, which is the Jane Foster Thor, which I guess like ties in nicely with Thor coming up in July. But like, why?
I love that there was a meeting where they're like, we had a great idea, guys. We're going to release Mighty Thor into the Marvel's Avengers game, and the Square are like, yeah, everyone
that thing. Are we still doing that? Okay, yeah, sure. Okay, go ahead then. Fill your boots. It's just mad to me. Like, there's a nice terminology that I've heard a lot lately for some reason, and it's sunsetting. You should just let the game sunset. You should sunset the game. Just let it.
I'd love to know how many concurrent players they have now, like any given moment. I bet.
I think they're the first games as a service to go into negative numbers, where not even their own developers are playing it.
Right. Even if they need to do something for it, they just don't play it. They just make it and put it out, and no one ever tries.
They just write the code and fingers crossed that it works. That they don't test it. There's no QA. It's just. But
no one cares because no one's playing it. So yeah, Oh, well, anyway, speaking of Square Enix, they're also being sued, Chris, by Yuji Naka of Sonic and Balan Wonderworld fame, because he was fired and he claims that the execs rushed Balan Wonderland incomplete out of the door. And so he is obviously not happy because of the I suppose, how the reception for Balan Wonderland, I can never say it right, Wonderworld was... less than good. So maybe trying to save some face a little bit.
It was a dog shit game, and we covered it in a 6 list that we released in December. So go check out the channel for that. But Jonesy, this is not new news, but it does kind of bring him back into it. We're almost using it as a segue from Square Enix to Yuji Naka himself, who, as we know, was responsible for Sonic, and I believe Dreams into Nights. I'm sure Nights into Dreams, whatever it's fucking called. And yeah, Balan Wonderworld, which is fucking bullshit. But
he's been tweeting up a storm, mate.
Yeah, the fella can't help himself. You'd think he'd be like crawl under a rock and die after Balan Wonderworld, but apparently not.
No, see, he wants some lovely money, and he also wants to get a little bit of. He wants to kick off a little bit of online. What's the word? Not like conspiracy, discourse. But. Yeah, he wants to get people chatting because he seemingly has finally revealed that Sonic 3 did in fact have music that was made by Michael Jackson. Although he seems to have like put that out and then immediately wrote it back. So let me read you the tweets.
Okay? Yeah, go for it.
So that people can hear what he actually said. So he tweeted, "Does Sonic Origins Sonic 3 have a different song?" And then he tweeted, "Oh my God, the music for Sonic 3 has changed, even though Sega Official uses Michael Jackson's music."
Yeah. So loads of outlets kind of picked up on this story, ran with it as like, oh my God, finally confirmation. Because everyone suspected it. Okay, Michael Jackson was a huge Sonic fan. There loads of YouTube conspiracies on like, oh, listen to this track, and if you lay it over like a Stranger in Moscow, like it's the same beat, or it's like a complementary beat, whatever it is. And to be fair, the Sonic 3 soundtrack does slap, but it's never been confirmed for God knows whatever reason. And then seemingly out of the blue in a fucking tweet, which is very on brand for 2022, I might just add, he said like, yeah, it seems like he's confirming that Michael Jackson worked on Sonic 3's music.
I think, but his animosity's been bubbling for a while, obviously, because since Balan Wonderland, Wonderworld, Jesus Christ, came out, so he's obviously wanted to get back at them somehow, and this is the way he's going to do it. But
well, no, not really, Joseph, because he was suing Square Enix.
But he's now trying to get them
talking about Sega now with Sonic. I just think I think he's like a woman scorned. Really, it doesn't matter who it is. He's just,
of course. Sorry, of course. I'm getting my companies mixed up. Yeah, because no, of course.
Yeah, but I think he just wants to see the world burn. He's the Joker in the Dark Knight.
He's trying to get on some of the what's the guy's name? He's trying to get on that insider leaking sort of thing. The Snitch. He's trying to get some of the Snitch's power by just dropping some insider info. Because he's maybe it is. Maybe he's like, you know what, screw this industry. Let me burn every bridge I've got.
Yeah, but seemingly not, right? Because he's backpedaled on a lot of it. So he said
he's now trying to throw water on the fires because he's realized it was a mistake.
Now that literally because you've got to understand, like this is technically like what would have been the post E3 period. Let's call it the post Summer Games Fest period, where all the news is out there. So no new shit is coming out. News outlets, like gaming news outlets, and hey, guess what? Gaming podcasts too. They're scraping the bottom of the barrel looking for any kind of news item. And something like this comes on. Every single fucking reporter and their dog are going to be writing articles, tweeting about it.
There's nothing else because there's nothing else to talk about. That's one of the reasons we're talking about it. There's nothing else to talk about.
I think he got cold feet with a lot of the attention. He tweeted out like, I didn't mean what people think I meant. You know, he's basically saying that like it's down to people misunderstanding what he's trying to say and him not communicating it efficiently because obviously English is not his primary language. And he said he has been tweeting through a translator app. But
those damn translator apps always sliding in Michael Jackson when you said something else.
Yeah, it all seems just a little bit too kind of like coincidental for me. And like here's the thing, right? Why hasn't it been confirmed that Michael Jackson has done the music to Sonic 3 if that is the case? Or even if it isn't the case, right? Like why has there been no official confirmation? Now, my kind of like tinfoil hat, my Jonesy moment is saying the reason is because there must be some kind of a legal dispute. There must be some kind of a legal standing of saying like this is not going to get out, right?
There's also a weird thing of Michael Jackson himself when he was alive, but his estate I think are pretty litigious as well. Like they love to sue and they own a shitload of music. So you've got to wonder if it is something dodgy behind, or not dodgy, but something behind the scenes that would cause an issue if this was sort of public knowledge, I guess.
Yeah, right. So is it a case that he did actually mean what he said? And then, you know, maybe the one last friend that he still had at Sega was like, sent him an email, be like a DM. He's like, you probably want to backtrack on that one because that's not a good idea. You know it's not a good idea. And then he's probably like, oh shit, yeah. Yeah, I'll just go make Balan Wonderworld 2. By the way, he's retired from game development because after all that fucking fiasco. But yeah, it's just kind of a bizarre one. I will say
I think you're right. It's because it's a time when there's not much news about, so he's just he's caught a little more fire than he meant to.
Yeah, totally. The other thing is, and I will end this kind of segment on this, Jonesy. Going to the gym. When I used to go to the gym, and I wasn't such a slobby bastard as I am now. When I used to go to the gym, on occasion, I would put on the Sonic 3 and the Sonic and Knuckles soundtrack. Because let me tell you, the tempo, the BPM, and the boppingness, the slappiness of that soundtrack, it complements cardiovascular work quite well.
Would your legs just start spinning and you get that Sonic, just like super go really fast?
Yeah, exactly.
Super powered.
Hell yeah. Easy.
But Sega might not have been very happy about the fact that that was leaked. Maybe leaked. Maybe not. Maybe it wasn't real. Maybe it was all a lie.
It's a confirmed rumor.
It's not even a confirmed rumor. It's a rumor. But something's not a rumor is that Sega have put out a trailer for Hyenas, which is a PvEVP FPS, which is going to see 15 players per match, split up into 5 teams of 3, going. Is that head to head against each other?
Hey, as much head as you want to give me, mate.
And it looks quite a cool concept. It does look quite a fun.
Fuck's sakes! Sorry, Jonesy. I've just clicked a button and it's opening Premiere Pro now. Don't do this to me now.
Chris
this is going to tank my recording.
Nah,
the RAM is just going to be absolutely destroyed here. Hold
Chris
on
is
a
having
second.
technical issues.
Oh my god! Hold on. I don't want to. I mean, I stare at Premiere Pro all day. I don't want to fucking. Oh, please. Here we go. Sorry. Carry on.
Stare at it now as well.
You're giving lots of head to the head of Sega. Yeah.
Triple head, triple threat.
Nice. Okay.
Yeah, the trailer's very cool. It's a nice sort of animation style, a bit cinematic. Lots of people running around in seemingly, I suppose we were saying it's
freighters.
Space freighters.
Yeah, going from planet to planet.
Which does mean they can mess around with a little bit of zero gravity.
I mean, every game needs zero gravity, quite frankly. Why not?
Why the hell not? But you were saying to me, Chris, that you can switch the gravity on and off in certain places.
So as it's a freighter, there's different zones, right? So there will be full-on 100% zero gravity zones, and then there will be other zones like, let's say, airlocks, etc., where there is gravity. And some of those places will have little toggle switches that can have gravity on and off. And I believe your characters will also have grav boots, maybe on some kind of a cooldown or a timer or whatever it might be. I don't know. I will say
I like the idea that you can run into an area, switch gravity off, and there's people in there fighting. They all start to float, and you're wearing grav boots, and you can just pick them off from the floor.
That would be so cool. Like, honestly, it's almost like these squad shooters are a dime a dozen these days. But I'd like to think that this is maybe bringing something different to the table, that it could stand out. It just looks like a fun time. You know what's really weird about it? When I was watching this trailer, it's very colorful, and for some reason, I couldn't get out of my head that this is more punk rock mosh pit meets tactical shooter than Tom Clancy's X-Defiant, which is never going to come out because Ubisoft are fucked. I don't fucking know anymore.
I don't know if I'll give you punk rock, because the aim of this is that you're going to be stealing treasures, but the treasures are pop culture artifacts. Like, I think in the trailer you see a Rubik's Cube, a little Sonic keychain thing. So yeah, I don't know how punk a lot of that's going to be, but some of it looks quite punk. I'll give you that.
It's punky.
It's punky.
Although, am I just being reductive? Is it now just any trailer with people with funny hairstyles and lots of color, and then that's pop punk?
What's happened now is punk isn't punk anymore. Punk is mainstream, which
punk
means
is dead, mate.
I think you're right. Anything with funny haircuts is punk, even though if it's corporate, it's not punk, right?
Unless everyone is punk, and then that means no one is punk, which means then if you go corporate, then you're a corpo punk.
Corpo punk. Okay.
Yeah. You're a spunk.
Yes. You're a spunk.
My voice went really funny when I said that. But you're a spunk, Jonesy.
And this is getting made by Creative Assembly, who are the guys behind Total War and Alien Isolation, which is kind of a weird range.
Yeah. Yeah, they also published Rugby on the PS2 in 2000.
What have you made? Rugby, Total War, Alien Isolation. Oh, okay. That's going to be
To be fair, there's a lot of fucking Total Wars. And also, to be fair to them, Alien
Isolation... Is that a good thing? There's a lot of them equals good.
Well, technically, yeah, right?
Does it?
Means you got an audience.
Does it? Does all the McDonald's mean they're the best food?
Don't knock McDonald's. McDonald's is quality.
Hey, I didn't say it was bad. I just said, does it mean it's good? Just because there's a lot of them.
Yes, McDonald's is good. Okay, it's good for what it is. It's not good for if you want to go at a sit-down restaurant.
Do you know what's horrendous? I'll tell you a horrendous fact. My wife's has downloaded this app which is supposed to like tell you to stop spending money. Like and it tells you, oh, you spent loads of money here, you spent loads of money here. It came up the other day and it was like, you spend more money at McDonald's than 95% of the users of the app. She was like, Jesus Christ.
Wow. That is great.
Which is hilarious because when, before we met, she worked at Burger King. So she's trying to like fight the power.
Oh,
she's still trying to get back at the man.
That's so good. But look, Jonesy, so this is an FPS. They made Alien Isolation, which is a great game. They definitely know how to do
fantastic game, yeah.
Like atmosphere. Obviously, that's more horror atmosphere than what Hyenas is looking like. But yeah, this looks fun, man. Like there's no release date, but you can sign up for the beta or whenever that's going to be. I think I might do it. It looks fun. It definitely. It's going to sound so weird because for a long time, Sega has been this company that just creates titles that I was just never interested in. And now they're releasing this. And if I draw parallels to this in, let's just say anything that Ubisoft has released lately with some of their offerings of like, hey, just try it. Like fucking Roller Dildo Champions and fucking X Defiant and all that dog shit. And it's kind of like, this looks good. The Ubisoft stuff, I look at them like, nah. It's funny how like things change, is what I'm saying. I'm a grumpy old man. I know. I'm just trying to own it, okay?
Fair enough, mate. We should all own it. You shouldn't fight the grumpy old man in this. I've also got one more ludicrous news story for you if you want a ludicrous news story.
I do want one because I think we're as it's been such a dry fucking news day and there's only two of us. We've only been recording for like an hour, probably.
I know, and I know that the rage and ire that the many fans in Denmark and England will be kicking off if we only did a 1 hour podcast. So this is the news that in order to pay his legal defense, I think because he's suing people, Kyle Rittenhouse, the American kid who was I believe so. He was the guy who
stand your ground kid or something.
He was the one who was in one of a there was like a riot, people setting fire to stuff, and then he was there with a rifle, and
he
ended up
Baltimore.
I cannot remember. No, is it Kenosha? Am I right? It was Kenosha. I think that's the name of the place.
Yeah, like
somewhere in America.
Like that shit happened. I remember watching it and thinking like, this is fucking horrific. And there was a lot of that stuff going on in the States at the time. And it's just completely blanked it out of my mind.
So do you know what? I watched the trial. Like I watched loads of it. It was the whole thing's terrible. People shot is terrible. Yeah. I'm not trying to make light of anything, but I find like trials really interesting. Like I watched loads of the Johnny Depp Amber Heard trial. I find all of that really, really interesting. But anyway, we're not going to retry the dude now. Basically, he got off from a self-defense perspective with that trial. But he's, as far as I understand, he is now suing a load of news outlets because they keep calling him like a murderer and all this sort of stuff, and he got off on self-defense. So obviously he's saying, well, that's bullshit, so now he's going to sue them. But in order to pay for his legal team and to defend himself legally, he's released a video game which is called Kyle Rittenhouse's Turkey Shoot, where it is almost like Duck Hunt back on the NES sort of days. It looks like where
I need to look this up. This
you're
sounds
shooting.
Ridiculous.
It's from a company called Mint Studios, where you will play as Kyle Rittenhouse with a gun, and you're shooting at turkeys that have fake news and different names of like fake news agency names written on them, like strings of letters and things. It looks rubbish. Like it's not a proper game, obviously.
You know what this looks like? This looks like a fucking Congregate, or what was that other one? Newgrounds game, or like it looks like a shitty Flash game.
It does. It looks terrible. It's a tenner. It's rubbish. For 10, don't buy this for 10 quid. It looks like a terrible game.
Well, hold on. How about just unless you want to support Kyle Rittenhouse at all?
Yeah, but no, I'm saying, but that's not don't go and like support him in the sense of like buying some crap game. If it was a really good game, then maybe you could buy it and you could get away with it. It's a terrible flash shooter game, but I just thought we'd bring it up because it sounded like a bit of crazy and ridiculous news. That's how he's raising money. Like that. If you had to do, right, let's go with the best case scenario.
Oh, God. Yeah, okay.
That the guy, self-defense, whatever, he still shot multiple people. Maybe don't release a game where you're shooting stuff. Maybe.
Well, yeah, but then again, what is he going to do? Release a game where you like pet kittens? Like,
yeah, you could do like a game where you're, I don't know, like cooking mama or something. Like call it Kyle's Kitchen. Do you know what I mean?
Cooking with Kyle.
Cooking with, yeah, do something which is not
Cooking
related
in
to
Kyle's
guns.
Kitchen, and then it could be abbreviated to KKK.
Because even if you go the down the route that it was it's completely self-defense and okay, it's still fucking sucky to shoot someone. Like, it's still not good, is it? Unless you're, it's just weird. I just thought I'd bring it up because the Daily Mail have got it, and they're a trash fire often. They're
big time,
Mail.
yeah. Oh, there's so much trash fires going on. Fucking hell,
it's all good. I thought I'd just bring that up.
Can I just on my weekly rant about us living in a fucking simulation? Like, look at the world around us. Look at everything that's happening. Look at all the news.
I'm convinced that I think you're right. We're in a simulation.
Do you ever remember? So I used to play SimCity 2000. And in SimCity 2000, there was a drop-down tab. And in other SimCities, I'm bringing up 2000 because that's the one I played the most. In SimCity 2000, there was a drop-down tab. You build your city, etc., whatever it is. Make it as good as you want. And then there's a drop-down tab that was like disasters. And you could spawn earthquakes and tornadoes and aliens and I think Godzilla as well. And I kind of feel like someone has programmed that into the simulation in which we live. And it's just like...
Right. I don't think you're that far off.
Mental, man.
I was looking at I was reading some stuff today that it was sort of saying that we're in for another financial crash worse than 2008. And...
The dude that they made the Big Short movie about, he's like, that's going to crash. It's like,
that's the video I watched was talking about him. What he's been saying. And he's like, oh yeah, we're going downhill. And like, great, that's what we need. Polio is back in the UK.
Polio's back. We've got fucking monkeypox everywhere. We've got politicians that are ruining countries, and for some reason, people keep voting them in. Year after year. It's just mental. Mental.
Who are you talking about there? Who's just been voted in?
Oh, you not just voting in, just not being voted out.
Oh, I see. Okay, I see what you mean.
In the UK, you can guess what happened. Like, when was it? Like last week, the week before. I believe in the US currently, they're having some issues with the GOP, blah, 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 whatever
Apparently,
it is.
I read just before coming on here that to make the gun issue worse in America, or the argument worse in America, like whatever side of that debate you're on, obviously at the moment is a time when there's a lot of people talking about gun control. Apparently, the Supreme Court have just said that they find it to be unconstitutional for for New York State to say you can't conceal carry a gun. So basically, it's going to become that all the places that do have restrictions are going to lose them.
It's mad.
So America's going to become the Wild West again. But
do you know what I mean? Like, it's fucking insane. It's insane.
But do you know what? One thing I'm not going to say anything about the gun debate. The Americans have guns because they kicked the British out. I don't think British people saying they shouldn't have them. It's like, no, put them away. You shouldn't have them. Whoa, we're going to claim it again. Like, no, yeah.
Yeah, in the meantime, knife crime is rife. Like,
there's an irony.
If you take a gun away, you just don't want to get a knife, I guess. But then again, there's a different intent. I don't know. Like, all I can say is, like, fuck guns. That's it. That's all I got to say about it.
I would say that, but then I watch a lot of TV and films where they love them, and it's pretty cool where they're running around going bang, bang, bang.
Don't get me wrong. As a form of entertainment, sure. Maybe. Hell yeah.
I think we can't have it both ways, right? We can't all get off on watching action films for the last 20 years and then suddenly be like, do you know, I think these guns are a bad idea. Like,
yeah, it does kind of feel like Jim Carrey in Kick-Ass 2, where he plays this.
Yes.
And then he finishes the movie and he's like, actually, I don't think so. But hey, I think regulation is entirely fair and should happen not just in America but around the world. But
of course. Do you want a little bit more gaming news?
Yeah, of course I do.
So this is a cheeky little story about Chris Pratt, who has declared his Mario voice is unlike anything you've ever heard, Chris. I don't know if that's a good thing or a really bad thing. What do you think?
I think it's going to be. I think it's going to be a Chris Pratt voice. Like, is the guy capable of doing anything other than a Chris Pratt voice?
We've heard. Look, give me your best Mario.
Me?
Yeah.
Well, the only Mario I can do is the fucking Charles Martinet. Fucking
yeah. Hit me.
Yippee! It's a me, a Mario. My voice is all fucking screwed up, man. Come on,
that was strong until the crack. Until the crack at the end. That was good.
But I like. What is he going to do? Is he going to put on like a thick New Yorker accent? Is he going to be from Boston?
Can I give you his quote?
Yeah.
So he said. So obviously he says the voice is going to be unlike anything you've ever heard, which is not good when it comes to a voice because you think, oh, is it going to be like? Am I not going to be able to tell what you're saying or something? But no. Anyway, then he says, I worked really closely with the directors on trying out a few things and landed on something that I'm really proud of and can't wait for people to see and hear. It's an animated voiceover narrative. It's not a live action movie. I'm not going to be wearing a plumber suit running all over. I'm providing a voice for an animated character and it's updated and unlike anything you've heard in the Mario world before.
Yeah, but let me ask you this, Chansey. Have you ever heard Chris Pratt's voice in the Mario world before?
No, I haven't, because he's not been in it.
It's this whole fucking bullshit, okay? It's this whole bullshit where, and game companies love to do it. Oh, we're not selling NFTs, or we're not doing pay to win, or we're not doing loot boxes. And then 3 months later, guess what? They're there.
Yeah.
And the only
you said it wasn't going to be there.
Yeah, and they're fucking like little slippery eels because they're like, oh, well, we said we weren't going to make NFTs of characters, but this isn't an NFT of a gun. It's like, okay, fuck me then. Like, squiggle your way out of that.
Yeah. Would you like to hear a quote from Chris Meledandri, who's the CEO of Illumination, who are making the the film? Because he has called Chris Pratt's voice, or the voice he does for Mario, phenomenal, and he's added that he can't wait for people to hear it.
Yeah, because what is he going to say?
I've not finished. He said, when people hear Chris Pratt's performance, the criticism against him as a non-Italian person will evaporate. But then he said, but maybe not entirely, because people love to voice opinions, as they should.
But like, what is he going to say? He's going to say, actually, it was a massive mistake for us to hire Chris Pratt, and we're really regretting it now. But we're too far gone. We spent too much money.
I think you nailed it. I've seen the Lego movie, and his character in that sounds like Chris Pratt. I'm guessing,
which is fine. But just don't like make a deal out of it. Just be like, yeah, it's Chris Pratt. He's voicing Chris Pratt as Mario. Like, fine, whatever. People are gonna hate it. They're gonna love it. Whatever it is, it doesn't fucking matter. Like, also, why are they coming out of the fucking woodworks to talk about this again? Who cares?
I don't know.
Like, people had the discourse about it and moved on, and it's almost like, well, we got to get ready because maybe we're gonna drop a trailer or something, and the trailer they're not even gonna have his fucking voice, are they?
Oh, are they not? Oh, interesting. Okay. The reason they're talking about it now is because they need to keep talking about it because it's got a year until it comes out. So they just want to keep it bubbling, just so you don't forget that Chris Pratt is making a Mario film and he's doing the voice. So you've never heard a voice like this before in your life, Chris, and it's going to change your life. It is going to blow your mind. I'm going to get, do you know what though? I'm going to guess.
I'd love it if it was like really, really low and gruff, like, you motherfuckers have messed with the wrong plumber.
It's Chris Pratt doing Samuel L. Jackson, and it's awful. And it's just like, you've never heard anything like this before. It's awful. And that's why the guy's saying it. He's like, you've never. I'm going to guess that all of these people who are in the film playing these different characters, very well-known people, a lot of them, I'm going to guess they're all going to sound like themselves. Chris Pratt as Mario is going to sound like Chris Pratt.
Yeah.
Anya Taylor-Joy is Peach. She's going to sound like Anya Taylor-Joy. Charlie Day is going to be, Charlie Day.
Yeah.
It's going to be one of them. Jack Black is going to be doing a Jack Black voice like that. That's going to be his voice.
But this is an interesting question, okay? Because obviously Charlie Day's playing Luigi, right?
Yes.
Well, Luigi and Mario are brothers. there needs to be a common thread in their accent.
There won't be. There won't be. I'm telling you now, there won't be. Seth Rogen is playing Donkey Kong. I can tell you who Seth Rogen's going to sound like.
Seth Rogen?
Seth Rogen.
I'll tell you what, there was a great moment in that Chip and Dale movie where Seth Rogen plays like an uncanny valley dwarf. Yes. And he's chasing them. He's like one of the bad like henchmen. And he's chasing Chip and Dale, and they go to a convention, and this dwarf gets like knocked the fuck out. And Pumbaa comes on, as well as like the Blob that he did for that DreamWorks movie, and all of the different animated characters that he's voiced in the past, and they start laughing at him in the Seth Rogen. Yeah, that like it's like, oh man, I can just imagine. I'm tired. It's just like it's getting too much for me. I feel like I'm getting like crazy world overload at the moment.
It's gonna. I think it's gonna be fun because all of these people are gonna sound exactly as you think as they sound. Because otherwise, do you know what you don't do is hire them to be in this film. You would hire voice actors that are a lot cheaper and a lot better at doing voices.
Oh, totally, yeah.
What's the point in hiring Chris Pratt if he sounds like an Italian?
Yeah, they were probably thinking when they hired Chris Pratt, like, perfect, star appeal, big name, etc. And they just weren't anticipating the fallout from it. Like, to be fair, I think like the rest of the casting choices were fine.
I think all the casting choices are fine. I'm completely fine with hiring well-known voices in order to do characters, but I think the idea that you say that the characters are going to sound, you've never heard anything like this. I think no, it's going to sound like the actor because otherwise you've made a mistake in hiring them. You shouldn't have paid them that much money.
Yeah, you're an idiot.
When you can't tell it's them.
Yeah, if you wanted something like no one's ever heard before, I mean, they should have just hired me when I had fucking strep throat or whatever the fuck I was dealing with.
Yeah. I should also say Charles Martinet will be in there for surprise cameos. Charles Martinet, who I have interviewed, by the way, and I sat next to him on a sofa, and I had a little recorder. I've said this before on the podcast, but I'm going to say it again because it was one of the best moments of my life. And I started recording the interview because it was easy in writing it down. And he thought I was recording it for like to record and put onto air or whatever. So he did loads of voices. He was doing that, and it was wicked. He was doing all the voices. And I've got a picture of me with him, which is great.
Nice.
Also, Fred Armisian, is that how you say it, as Cranky Kong is going to be in it. Kevin Michael Richardson as Kamek, who's a voiceover actor, so obviously he's going to be good.
Yeah, he's going to be the fucking highlight, won't he?
Keegan Michael Key. I can never remember which one is Key and which one is Peel. Which one's the bald one? Is that Keegan Michael Key or is that the other one?
No, that's Peel.
Anytime there's two people who do an act together, I cannot tell them.
It's only because fucking.
Oh, Key's the bald one. Okay, yeah.
Yeah, it's only because Key is what's his first name again?
Keegan.
No,
Keegan Michael Key.
Keegan Michael Key.
Yeah, and then the other one is Peel. I don't know what his. I don't know what his name is.
Fucking Jamie's rolling in his grave right now,
and he's not even dead. Here you go. I'll look him up. It's Jordan Peele.
Of course, Jordan Peele. So the only way I remember it actually these days is because he's the director now. He did Nope. He did Us.
Yes.
He did.
Yes, he did.
And what
he's
was
a bloody
one?
good director.
Get Out.
That's true.
Yeah, it's good. I'm looking forward to Nope. Looks fucking weird, as you'd expect from him.
I struggled with what's the family one?
Us.
That was it's horrible.
So what struggled in terms of like the uncomfortableness?
Because it was freaky. Yeah.
It was super freaky, dude.
Unsettling, horrible.
But didn't you feel that like the concept of it was a lot better than the execution?
Yeah, I think that's often the way though. I even think with like is it Get Out?
Yeah,
I really liked, but the concept was wicked, and the execution I think was good. But I think it was often the concept because it's really I think it's hard to come up with really good ideas, but obviously they have got really good ideas, but then to put them across often can be quite difficult, I suppose, to really say this is what we're saying.
Jonesy, you know what's going to be a movie with a great concept and is maybe a poor execution?
What's that?
Nope.
Maybe, yeah. But we have to wait and see.
Man, I'll tell you what, there's some bangers though, because Thor, Love and Thunder, coming out when? July 8th or 7th?
Oh, I don't know. I haven't been
in the UK or the US. Yeah, man. Just after my birthday.
Is it true? I don't know if it's true. I saw a thing that said that, and I think I said it on the podcast, that she's rocking fake arms when she gets jacked. And I then couldn't. I saw something about it saying she is, and then I saw a thing saying she's not, and then I was like, oh, I really want to. Is she going to have these ludicrously fake arms, like when she's trying to be Thor?
I think that was proper.
I don't know. There was a picture where someone was like, "Look at the arms. That is not real." I'm like, because then they put sort of two pictures side by side where she's got fake arms and doesn't have fake arms, and it was like,
yeah,
this is the same shoot, the same day.
But it's that thing that male actors do for love scenes, right? Where they do like 5 push-ups, 10 push-ups,
no,
15
she's like
push-ups before the camera rolls, so that they get all swole.
No, she's like a 100-pound, 5'6" woman. She's not like a swole gym.
You can still get swole.
Not like that. She's got to go from like normal to super jacked in like a couple of press.
Here's the thing: I don't think she looks super jacked. Like she looks like staunch.
I'm going to see if I can find the picture that I saw that was like supposed to be her fake arms. Natalie Portman, fake arms confirmed. That's a YouTube video. It's definitely fake.
Who's the author? The Quartering.
Maybe I didn't even read it. Is there a picture here of arms? No, there's no picture. It's just someone.
Just say type in Natalie Portman.
No, I have, and then there's an article came up.
Mighty Thor. Okay, and if you do that,
do you know what it might be? It might be
the very first picture is a picture of her arms.
Someone might have photoshopped her arms to make it look like they were faking it, but actually, it's hard to tell. There's a couple of pictures here that make it. Right, we're going to get back to this after the film comes out. Does she have? We're going to get more plates, more dates. We'll have to check out one of his videos and see if she's
more plates, more dates,
faking her arms, and see if she's like, this is Natalie Portman's stack before she did Love and Thunder.
But I fucking love the YouTube, like, confirmed. Like, nothing's fucking confirmed, buddy. Did you speak to her? Do you know? Were you on the production?
To be fair, in this trailer, she doesn't look stacked. I'm just seeing the trailer for it.
There's a bit from the first trailer where she catches
she
Mjolnir,
does there.
And there she looks pretty staunch.
Not massive, though.
Well, this is the thing, yeah. Not massive. Like, honestly,
not ridiculous. Not, shall I say it?
What?
Not Abby from The Last of Us. People would be raging again. Oh, where's she getting testosterone in the post-apocalyptic world? She's got a gym membership.
No, but like, think about. Okay, can I put it as plain as day, Jonesy?
Oh, I don't know. The traps. The traps are quite trapalicious.
The traps are quite trapalicious. I like it. Slap that on.
No, sorry, not traps. Triceps. Her triceps be looking a bit cut in. And the delts are popping a little bit, which.
Yeah,
that's the giveaway. Supposed to be if you can be cut and you've got 3D delts, then there's something juicy going on.
Juicy.
Maybe she's been on the Tremboloni sandwiches. You never know.
It's entirely possible, Jones, because you know what I was going to say. If Marvel can pay to get fucking Kumail Nanjiani as fucking ripped as he could possibly ever be in his life,
yeah,
then yes, Natalie Portman can have biceps and triceps. Like,
and also, just the proximity to Chris Hemsworth. Surely some of the testosterone in his sweat, because of all the exogenous testosterone that he's been stacking, is probably leaching out and getting into her lunch menu order. So even though she's not taking it.
Did you ever see that picture of Chris? I feel like we feel like we've stopped recording the podcast now. We're just talking shit like we do before.
This is
the
filler,
podcast
everyone.
rolled.
You could check out minutes ago.
Thanks for
We're
listening,
just trying
everyone.
to make sure we get to a decent length because we couldn't stop after an hour.
Do you remember that picture of Chris Hemsworth's legs?
Oh, where it's like this thick, and it was like skipping leg day. Yeah,
it was like from his official picture where he went for like Halloween or so. He's got these like the most ripped arms you could ever imagine.
His arm is like this,
twig legs.
Yeah,
I love it.
It is mad. His arm is absolutely huge, and then his leg is tiny. I'll tell you what's funny, because there's a bit of a thing in some circles in like working out, which I used to do before COVID absolutely destroyed me. where they sort of say like, you can do whatever you want, but what you can't do is improve your calf genetics. And there's a load of guys who are like, they look amazing, and then you look at their legs and they have no legs. And it's just like, or no calves.
I love that, your
specifically.
calf genetics. That's great.
Calf genetics. But no, I think there was another picture of him just after that where it was obviously like a bad angle because his legs aren't that bad, but it was a hilarious picture because it looked like it shouldn't support his weight. Didn't it?
Yeah, it actually looked like, do you remember when you were a kid and you had like action figures and you could like take the torso off and put like different legs on them? It almost looked like that,
Right.
like or maybe something like out of a Toy Story where there's like this like big He-Man toy with Barbie legs. That's what it looks like.
Yeah, it did look like that. You are right. I'm going to click on this YouTube video and see what this is about. There's Natalie Portman, Love and Thunder, fake arms confirmed.
Confirmed.
Let's see whose this is. If it's bollocks. It's it's got 100 views. No, it hasn't. It's got 16.
16 views.
Yeah.
You're number 16. And of course, you can't tell if it's a good video or not because there's no thumbs down, Jonesy.
I have a plugin that does give me thumbs down.
Oh, look at you. How many thumbs down does this video have?
It's got 1 like and no thumbs down. So
that's a good ratio, buddy. That's a good ratio.
That's a great ratio.
Oh, Jonesy, I feel like we've scraped the bottom of this barrel, and I think it'd be all right to kind of leave it there. No, what do you think?
We have done well to extend it this far out. Thank you, if you actually managed to stick with us this long after that last half an hour of trash that we've just covered in order to sort of drag it out to make it some semblance of a decent length. Do you know why? Jonesy, it's because we wanted to give you, the viewer, something to listen to that bit longer.
Quality. Look at this. I've been holding a crab this whole time. You didn't even know. So
I noticed you were holding something because I thought you had your nails painted at one point. And I was like,
right.
He's got his nails painted.
Oh, yeah.
And then,
hold on. Yeah. But yeah, look, Jonesy, you know what? We gave the people what they came here for, that we gave them a solid hour and 5-10 minutes of gameplay talk, and then just us just shooting the shit, which I would wager some people will leave in the comments down below that it was their favorite part because it was genuine. It was
we've covered.
It was
Kyle Rittenhouse's new game.
It was
Mario's
cinema verite, right? Like it was Dogma 95. Is what you see is what you get. Okay, no special effects, no lighting, although there's light right over there, but you get what I'm saying.
I tell you what, to let us know that you made it through the shower of shit that was the last half hour.
Shower of shit.
Let us know in the comments whether or not you think Natalie Portman's arms from Love and Thunder are fake. If you want, you can look at some pictures first, but it's just as valid to just randomly say what you want to say, even if you have nothing to back it up, because that's what we did as well. So let us know in the comments whether or not her arms are real, whether they're fake. Is she juicy? Is she natty? Let us know. And that is going to bring us to the end of the podcast. Thank you so much, everybody, for watching. If you're still there, don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. If you're not already subscribed, I'm guessing most of you probably are, but then maybe you're not.
I don't think anyone's watching this who isn't subscribed, Jonesy.
No, maybe not. Drop us a comment down below because it does help with the algorithm. Also, head over to Paisley Radio on a Thursday or a Monday, and you can check us out at 10 p.m. for a bit of nice internet radio goodness. With that having been said, we'll see you next week. Goodbye.
See ya.